And welcome to the Early Bird. I'm here with Chris Randone getting ready for the Wednesday slate. It's a 6-game slate. And before we start, I want to give a shout out to our host, SuperDraft. The future of daily fantasy sports has arrived. Experience SuperDraft's exclusive game mode multiplier. Say goodbye to salary restrictions and hello to lineup freedom. Use your fantasy sports now as a draft any player you want and build your very own dream team. Countless lineup possibilities let you experience daily fantasy sports the way you want. And SuperDraft contest is offered in NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and PGA, so you can enjoy the best of the DFS all year round. Sign up for SuperDraft today using promo code AWESEMO and claim your free $20 in Super Cash with your first deposit of $100 or more. Download in the App Store or play at superdraft.io. SuperDraft, no limits, more winning. Chris, how's your Tuesday night?
It's going good, man. Got a few sweats going on right now, so you always got to love that. But 6-game slate Wednesday night. Let's bang this out, man. Let's find some good plays before we know anything before tomorrow.
We don't know anything. We know a couple things. We know LaMarcus Aldridge is out for the Spurs, which is big news. We know Rashawn Holmes will be out in one more game for the Kings, and Marvin Bagley's going to be out another game for the Kings. We got Jay Crowder and DeAnthony Melton already ruled out from Memphis coming off a back-to-back. And Victor Oladipo makes his return. Are you interested in looking and seeing how Victor Oladipo looks in his first game back for Indiana after that ACL injury?
I mean, obviously, they're going to handle him with care, so we might see in the teens as far as minutes is concerned. But if someone wants to say that he'll get there, based off that amount of time on the floor, I mean, by all means, he's 6K on DraftKings, so you can have fun with that.
Yeah, well, I'll be interested to see how he looks outside of a DFS perspective. Malcolm Brogdon also questionable. Miles Turner questionable. Andre Drummond questionable. And, of course, James Harden and Clint Capella questionable. So a lot of big question marks right there. Obviously, if James Harden's out for Houston, it's going to be a lock and load Russell Westbrook style. Let's get started with the Chicago and Indy game. Anything standing out to you in this one, Chris?
Man, I like Satoransky just because he's cheap, 4,900. Actually, I feel like all these guards, like one of them will go off. It seems like throughout the season. And Kobe White just came off a good game. He's 3,900. Chris Dunn's 5,500. I always like Chris Dunn more on FanDuel because of the defensive scoring for him. He's very active on the defensive side. So I would have to see what his price is on FanDuel. But I like any of these guards, in this game, just because of the amount of time they get on the floor. And if one gets hot, 3,900 and 4,900 easily can not only hit value, but get there. And then on the other side of the ball, now what happens with Brogdon? Does he take a hit in minutes? Does he still start? I guess these are all questions that we're going to have to find out now with Oladipo back in the rotation. But for me, don't forget, you always have Sabonis in play. He is 9,400, so he's getting up there. But typically, as these guys get higher in price, normally ownership kind of shies away. So could always be a leverage play on a 6-game slate if not much ownership is going to him. TJ Warren's 5,800. Definitely is in consideration. And Miles Turner, I'm not really too big on him lately. He hasn't really played all that well. So if you want to roll with him, I'm okay with it because Chicago does struggle against big men. So I don't mind it. But other than that, though, I don't know if I really like this game as much as maybe another game that we're going to speak of.
Yeah, we don't have an over-under out for this game. We don't have any out for any game except for
no, not yet.
For the Knicks Memphis, which is 224.5 there, and which is a pretty high over-under for the Knicks because they don't score a lot. But in this one, as a Bulls fan, it's hard to like anything about the Bulls.
You're a Bulls fan?
I'm a Bulls fan. I'm Chicago born and raised. Yeah, it's.
Wow. Well, you had Jordan, so
Well, I was 7 or 8. I was young. I remember Jordan, like at the end. My Bulls were like the Khalid El-Amin, Eddie Robinson Bulls.
Gotcha.
Those guys. Khalid El-Amin is a legend. But Zach LaVine, he had that big price hike down to 8,700. Gets a little boost without Mark in the lineup. But so does Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn's played really well without Mark in the lineup, but I don't love that price point of 5,900 on DraftKings. So I agree with you. There's not a lot to target here, especially with all the question marks. on Indiana. We really don't know what the minutes are going to look like with Oladipo back. So I don't think this is a game that's worth looking too much into right now. But let's go down to the Detroit and Brooklyn game here and see anything standing out to you in the Brooklyn game. Kyrie Irving's supposedly coming back from his personal day off after the Kobe news. So he's got the price hike back up to 9,300 on DraftKings. Dinwiddie 6,900, Jared Allen 6,200 on DraftKings, and then on Detroit you got Drummond questionable 10,200, which is quite pricey for him. Derrick Rose is up to 7,500. That's one of his highest prices of the season, and then Reggie Jackson still at 4,400. So anything standing out to you here?
Man, Drummond's price. He's 9,700 on DraftKings. Am I looking at that correctly?
He is 10,200 in FanDuel. He is 9,700 on DraftKings, correct?
Yeah, so I like this. He's also just coming off a big game against them. Really, defensively, Brooklyn can't guard him. They can't. They struggle with big men. So me personally, at 9,700, I'm okay with it. I like this matchup for him. Kyrie's price tag, it's like I want to roster him, but I'd rather maybe pay down a little bit for De'Aaron Fox. Mitchell's price tag, and D Rose, if he's back now, 7,600. It's like I got to save money somewhere, and I don't know. I guess when I look at his price point, it's more of like where's ownership, where's the field at. I'm gonna have some shares, and the rest will be dictated, I guess, on ownership, because I do like Westbrook, I do like Lillard. I do love that entire game that we'll speak on a little bit later. But outside of that, I think Bruce Brown, considering his price point, is 4,600. Reggie Jackson, 4,500. These guys are all plug and plays. They're not like set in stone core plays, but these guys are fillers, and I'm okay with that. Dinwiddie, with his role now coming off the bench, unless if he does start, he's 7,500 though. I'm not liking it. There's just no shot. With Kyrie Irving back, he's just not the same. The usage is just not there. So I'm going to go ahead and not want to pay that price for him. Jared Allen, I think he's going to get more time on the floor, right? And if DeAndre Jordan is still out, which I'm not sure, he might play. He should play. He had something with his finger. But let's just say that he doesn't. I like Jared Allen more. If Jordan does play, I like Jared Allen less.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he's more locked into the guaranteed 30 to 32 minutes. Of course, last time against against the Knicks, he didn't do much with those 30 to 32 minutes. Big man against Detroit have been a thing this year. So Jared Allen, I think with him, you could see his ownership decrease. I believe DeAndre Jordan is in, confirmed in. So
is he confirmed in?
He is confirmed in. DeAndre Jordan is. So you could see Allen's been a pretty popular target with Jordan now, and he's had a couple of big games, but he's been hit or miss like he has been all season. I think this might be a spot of where his ownership's going to be really down because now Jordan's back. The minutes might be reduced a little bit, but Detroit offers a great matchup. They've been the best matchup for opposing centers and over the past month. I don't think there's been anyone better except for maybe Atlanta. So Jared Allen, I think, could be a really sneaky play even with DeAndre Jordan back. Drummond, I agree with. He's was a big disappointment in that game against Cleveland where Derrick Rose was out. I think you could see a little bit of reduced ownership there, and you could really make a great bounce back in that one. Let's move on to the Knicks and the Memphis, the only game where we have a spread and over-under. That's Memphis -2 and 224.5 over-under. Memphis coming off a back-to-back. They are currently leading, and Knicks are also coming off a back-to-back. Now, Memphis was, last check, leading Denver by about 15. I don't know what the score is there. And the Knicks, unsurprisingly, lost in Charlotte by 5. So I just actually took a look at the Knicks box score, and they had no players that had flames on DraftKings. So maybe something has to give in this one. I mean, how many there's someone has to go off.
Did you say they had no flames?
No one had no flames. They had no flames. I looked down the box score, and no one had any flames. That's how I analyze things.
That's hilarious. I never heard that reference before.
Flames are snowflakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Hey, I'm not against it. I mean, I've never heard that reference, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what. Well, there it is. Yeah, I just looked on the box score and they hit Flames. So, so
Well,
yeah,
yeah, this game, I mean, both these guys coming off back-to-backs. Memphis, as we know, they play such a high pace. Does it bode well for New York? I mean, yeah, it's a pace-up matchup. Do I like anyone? Probably Julius Randle. But outside of that, I don't know, man. It's hit or miss with Alfred Payton. Maybe Valanciunas, actually. I don't mind it. 6,400. He's playing pretty well tonight too against Denver. I can get me some Valanciunas at 6,400. I'm okay with that. And but outside of that, though, Dylan Brooks' price continues to creep up. Now he's 6,200. He's going to take a bunch of shots, so I'm okay with that. 6,200. I think I can go there. And John Morant, I believe he is 7,200 in this matchup. So I would play those three guys if you're looking to play in a GBP format, single entry. Not really into it outside of maybe Valanciunas at the center position, but there's really just some good options at center that I don't know if you would get there in a single entry format. So, but really, man, this game, I'm just not feeling it. Both coming off a back-to-back, both having to travel. So, yeah, I don't know for fantasy purposes if I'm going to like this game as probably some others.
Yeah, this game is not too appealing, especially I'm looking at the DraftKings prices right now. There's nothing that's really sticking out in terms of great value. I would say Jay Crowder, if he wasn't healthy, would probably be the best value at 4,400. But there's not. I mean, Valanciunas is probably the best value. But yeah, I agree with the center position. There's quite a bit of depth on this slate that I wouldn't go there. I mean, Kevin Knox is 3,000 on DraftKings. So I mean, if you're really looking to play, maybe I wouldn't say you're never going to target Kevin Knox. But if you're saying, okay, I got 3,200 to spend and I need somebody. He's a guy that might, get some decent run in a game that, really there's not too much appeal. I mean, Julius Randle's pricey, Marcus Morris is pricey. Alfred Payton's above 6,000 on DraftKings. I mean, for as bad as the Knicks are, they're really not doing the Knicks any favors with their pricing on DraftKings. That's for sure. Mitchell Robinson is not a bad price at 5,000, but not. I agree with you. This is a game that there's too many other high potential games on the slate, especially that Brooklyn, Detroit, and potentially, obviously, that Houston Portland game coming up. That are. I also like this Utah San. Let's go to the Utah San Antonio game because I do like this game a lot. There's going to be one chalk play. That are you going to be riding the chalk play in this one?
Damn, man, you like this game?
I don't mind this game. No, I don't mind. I do like this game.
I mean, who you like? You like Donovan Mitchell?
I like DeJounte Murray at 4,300.
Oh, well, I mean, with Aldridge out, I'm locking in my man DeRozan. So it's really hard to not want to roster him with him off the floor. I mean, you're talking about an increase in usage, increase in shots, and really just the offense moving through him. But talk to me more about DeJounte Murray real quick.
Well, DeJounte Murray, he had a really, really poor game against the Bulls last time out. He's been inconsistent. He's got a tendency to follow up poor performances with pretty decent performances, especially recently. He's not getting to really – he hasn't been getting the heavy minutes all season, but he still has a 52% 5 times rate at this price point. It's his lowest price point of the season as well. So he has some of his 4,400. He put up 29.5 against Toronto. His 4,500 last game, only put up 11 points in 22.5 minutes. I mean, if you're thinking Patty Mills is going to go off again, Patty Mills went off for like 35 points in that one. So, I mean, that had a lot to do with the fact that DeJounte Murray did nothing, that Patty Mills was just on fire. So I think he's a great target right here at 52. I mean, I don't think he's going to be too heavy of a target because Utah's not a good matchup. But, sorry, that was a 52% 6 times value rate at this price point on the season. So Murray's going to be a big target for me. I mean, Jakob Poeltl on DraftKings has gone up to 5,600. I mean, projection systems are going to have him still in the upper 30s after that game he put up against the Bulls, I imagine. But he could be someone that, even at 5,600, I don't know what his price is on FanDuel, but at 5,600 DraftKings, he still might be a target, and I won't be budging for that. DeMar DeRozan, yeah, his usage really explodes without Aldridge on the court. He went off in the second half against the Bulls. He went for 50. He might almost had a triple-double. I don't. He might have. Yeah, Murray I like a lot. Donovan Mitchell is another guy that that is interesting to 8,000. He's got a 5 times value rate of 48% there on DraftKings. So he's a safe cash play. I don't know if I'd go for him in GPPs, but as a cash play, I like him.
I think Gobert eats this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
This last game, I'm still confused, but took only 5 shots against Houston, who had no one guarding him above 6'6", I feel like. Hartenstein, who is 7 foot, played 5 minutes, which I thought that they would put a body on him even more. But somehow Houston not only won this game, but, I mean, he still had a double-double. He had 12 and 14. But still, I felt like it was a matchup where he should have really outperformed his salary. But now going into this game with Aldridge out, I like Gobert here. And I guess, we'll probably see some chalk in Podol. Do you think Jakob Podol will probably be a little bit more? Well, he's 5,600 now. So this will be interesting. I could see him getting into foul trouble here with Gobert having a little bit of more of a difficult time defensively. But I like Gobert. I like Mitchell. Mitchell, yeah, in cash, but I don't mind him in GBPs as well. And I think DeRozan's a lock, man, for me. It's just really hard to not see him exceed expectations in his projected points. I'm locked in on DeRozan. And I can see some fantasy value in this game as far as guys. But I really like this next game, man, this Houston-Portland game. So go ahead and introduce that bad boy if you want.
Right, let's go. I think a lot of people are going to like this Houston-Portland game. I'm expecting – what do you think the over-under would be in this one? Any ideas?
I would say 240.
240. It's pretty high.
Yeah.
I'll Price is Right you. I'll say 239. Is that Price is Right? Or no, what's Price is Right? Is it over? 241? I think it's 241. Is it?
Yeah, I mean – yeah,
maybe, I don't know. I'll say 237.5.
Okay.
So yeah, you want to get started with the Portland game? Who you like in this one?
Man, give me a lot of these guys actually. So do we think Harden plays? If Harden doesn't play, let's just say he doesn't, right? He's questionable right now, but let's just say he doesn't. There's no shot where I'm not locking in Lillard and Westbrook. It's a great matchup for both of these guys. I think Westbrook put up 70 last time, if I'm not mistaken. Lillard, on the other hand, has just been playing out of control. His last 3 games, 92, 70, and 84 DK points. The amount of shot attempts that he's taking and the amount of three-pointers that he's making, it's really hard to not just say, you know what, forget the 10.5 price tag, because Harden's 100 more than him. But, I mean, the way he's playing right now and the way that the offense is running through him, give me him. And until he proves me otherwise, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, these are the main guys that I want in this matchup. And then on the Portland side, I mean, obviously Lillard, but I want Whiteside. I definitely want Whiteside in this matchup. I think last time he didn't do so well against Capella, but this is a matchup that does favor him, as it should for Capella as well. So it will be very interesting, actually, if Capella doesn't play. How will they play with Whiteside? Because I'll tell you what, they did a great job with Gobert, but I think offensively Whiteside can definitely do more damage. So it'll be interesting to say that. But the money that I'm spending is going to be on this game, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's just too much upside in this matchup. And I'm curious to see where the field will be tomorrow, actually. How much of the field will invest into this game? That's kind of where I'm going to be at, because if Harden's out, I could see obviously Westbrook shooting through the roof. But if Harden does play, where does that leave Westbrook? And I think that he'll be low owned, to be honest with you. I feel like they'll go to Harden more than they would Westbrook in this matchup, because they also, if you want to play for Lillard, you can't have all three. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, if Harden does play, I agree with you that Westbrook will be kind of the odd man out in this situation. So Harden, I mean, I know he's been cold, but his 6 times value rate's still 39% this season at this price. And then you got Westbrook over here is only 19%. So, I mean, I think you might have to say maybe you have a little bit of an edge there, and can maybe work Westbrook in even if Harden's in there. Obviously, if Harden's out, you're locking in Westbrook, and good luck to you if you don't. With Lillard. On DraftKings, I would suspect that's his highest price in 2 years, 10,500. I can't remember it ever being this hot, but I also can't remember it ever being this pricey.
Yeah.
and with McCollum back, I mean, he's been, yeah, like you said, he's been on fire. He's put up quite a performance. But
yeah, I mean, McCollum's time back on the floor hasn't hurt his production whatsoever. So, I mean, that's interesting, right?
yeah, and
you would think that it would be the opposite, but that's not the case. So it's very intriguing to see that. And like I said, the offense is running through Lillard right now, and the usage rate is through the roof. And obviously, I'm going to buy that. So
yeah, I do like McCollum on this one. I mean, McCollum could be, everyone's going to be targeting Harden and Westbrook and Lillard, but McCollum is consistency-wise. I mean, especially in a cash game where you're 54% value rated 5 times value there, coming off a really high shooting performance in the last one. Houston offers some of the best matchups for opposing guards, so I really think McCollum could be a great play there. And that's what's going to target. How about Eric Gordon up at 7,300 after that 70 point DraftKings FanDuel performance? What do you think about that one? No.
Sure. I mean, listen, here's the thing. How do you not play Eric Gordon last night? It made no sense to me. He was 65% owned on FanDuel. He should have been 100%. He was $4,400, and the only offensive player, the legit offensive player they had last night was Eric Gordon. I had 100% of him at 150 lineups.
You're just going to slander the name of Ben McLemore like that?
I mean, I just don't have confidence in Ben McLemore like I do Eric Gordon. So, and Eric Gordon actually played good the last few games, so I was all about it. But but on DraftKings he was a little bit more pricier, so I can understand the fade or not wanting to play him. But still, even then, I mean. I was just really shocked to see that you still had an advantage over 35% of the field. So whenever people say, oh, there's not an edge in DFS, I mean, it's times like that where even in single entry, a guy who's a must play is getting avoided. There's still an edge, man.
Yeah, he was by no means a must play on DraftKings. His ownership was pretty low. I mean, everyone was going for the Hartensteins, the Clemens, and the Austin Rivers, and Austin Rivers had a nice game, but I mean, Eric Gordon he was a slate breaker last night. I was kicking myself because I had him projected pretty, I think, better than most people, but I didn't take the plunge with the my boy Clemens. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, tough. Hate to see it, man. Hate to see
it. You
played
played Chris Clemens?
On DraftKings, yeah, I did. $3,000. Oh yeah, I know. Woo. I know. I should be admitting these. What's up?
My man fell for the trap.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're pretty good about those traps too. But that one, I have a Chris Clemens problem apparently. So
no, I hear you. I mean, it's tough when you have McLemore, you have Gordon, you have Austin Rivers. I mean, and if they keep it competitive, it's going to be really tough for him to see minutes. I think the biggest surprise was Hartenstein. He played 5 minutes. The guy's 7 foot, 240 pounds. Put a body on Gobert. Like, I'm just shocked that they didn't let him do that. But somehow they managed with PJ Tucker to find a way to win.
It's good coaching.
Did you see the thing on did you see the kid? He has his Twitter or whatever. He bet $17,550 last night on FanDuel Sportsbook on Houston moneyline at plus 850.
I did see that.
It paid over 100,000.
As a kid?
I mean, it's a young guy.
He's a young guy. Well, I mean, if you have that much money to lose, I mean, he's got to be making.
Dude, I mean,
that's a good bet, though. It's great. It's impressive.
I mean, come on, man. Like, how many times are you going to bet Houston money line in Utah with no Westbrook, no Harden, against a healthy Jazz team who plays at home and good at home? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And no Capella.
I mean, you could have just said PJ Tucker guarding Gobert, and you could have stopped right there. I mean, that's.
I really wonder how much. I really wonder how much Vegas lost on that. Or no, excuse me. How much Vegas won on that? Because people pounded the Jazz.
You would think so. I mean, you would think
in parlay money lines for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no question that Houston was. I mean, that's just like we talk about the DFS traps. That's the sports betting traps. When star players are out, I think the public always overestimates the impact of star players in a single game scenario. That isn't the playoffs. So that used to be one of my big sports betting, I guess, trends I would like to follow. But back to the slate here. In terms of what Portland positions you really want to target against Portland, they've actually been a lot better against the center position, but in power forward, you're not going to get much out of PJ Tucker. I mean, but the point guard position against Portland the last month is averaging 56.8 points per game. And that's not only Russell Westbrook. Those are like other people. So I think that may even go more to your point of Westbrook could be even a sneakier play if Harden's in there and everyone's going towards Harden. Westbrook's ownership drops to, 10, 12%. Like that could be the real edge right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the way I would approach it.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Get Westbrook regardless of whether Harden is playing or not. And all right, let's hit the final one.
Yeah, man. If I would have just stuck with my gut and took Daniel Tice over Zion, I'd be in first place right now.
Always stick with your gut. You know what I should have?
Second right now. Second place in almost every tournament on FanDuel. Literally almost every tournament on FanDuel.
And if you just would have stuck with Tice over Zion.
I have 386 points right now.
That's a good score.
And just all single entry tournaments, everything. I'm just like, oh my God, if I would have just stuck with Tice over Williamson.
Is that the way to go? Okay, single entry? Is that the way to go? Should I do more single entry, Chris?
No, I mean, on Tuesday nights when I do the show with Eddie, the live before lock, I just it's hard for me to do mass multi-entering because I have to do the show in the most crucial hour ever.
It's very crucial. I'm just like,
yeah,
it's very crucial. I've been told it's crucial.
Yeah.
I would be placing if I would have stuck with my placeholder lineup of Guillermo, Willie Hernan Gomez, and Raul Neto.
There you go.
No, yeah, I feel like that was everyone's placeholder lineups. That's usually who I have in my placeholders. The Willie Hernan Gomez's and the Raul Netos.
Willie Hernan Gomez's, love it.
Or they Hernan Gomez. I don't know. There's two of them, Juancho and Willie. So I don't know how to. It's like syllabize or whatever. I don't know how to play. Yeah. All right, let's go to OKC Sacramento.
Yeah, let's close this bad boy out.
Did you see that comeback Sacramento game last game?
Did I? It was. Do you know how incredible that was?
I owing 8,000 million and 680 million for the last 25 years or something like that in that situation.
That was.
I think that was. Yeah, Minnesota's had two of those this year. By the way, they've had that one, and they had the Jordan Bell untucked jersey tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's really taken the brunt of the bad beats this year. I don't know what they did to someone in a previous life, but that's two of the worst beats you'll ever see. I mean, 17 points with 2 minutes and 4.5 seconds left.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wild time to be alive.
Wild time to be alive. Buddy Hield went off too in that game. All right, let's take a look at what we have here for Sacramento. Anything that catches your eye? Chris Paul is probable to return. So the Dennis Schroeder show. Oh, you can never officially cancel the Dennis Schroeder show because I always say Dennis Schroeder always goes off when you never expect him to. But the Dennis Schroeder show.
His price is creeping, man. It's
creeping.
Coming off the bench. It's gonna get a little tough to want to fire up some Schroeder, but he's been playing great, man. Being great as a sixth man. I like Alexander here. I love the guards. I love all three guards, actually. I just don't know how much I can stomach paying $7K for Schroeder. But on the other side of the ball, I love the guards too. I love all the guards in this game, to be quite honest with you. And give me a little bit of my man BJ on Sacramento. Don't mind him. He's 6,700, but he's been playing great, man. And, for me, he's a double-double potential guy. And he just does it all, though. And that's a guy when he can contribute in all categories, you'll pay 6,700 for. So I'm okay with that. But outside of that, man, maybe a little bit of Bogdanovic, a little bit of Hield, nothing crazy. I really just like the guards here, if anything, in this matchup.
Yeah, Bogdanovic did get 34 minutes in this game.
Yeah,
and he's got 2 starts in a row.
Yeah.
I know he typically does. He's a little more productive when he comes off the bench.
Mhm.
I like him better in that situation because he's not playing next to Fox, and I'm sure he'll probably after that win. I'm sure he'll probably start again. But
Yeah.
minutes. I mean, his points. His starter is only averaging 20 points per game, and as a reserve, he's averaging 27 points per game. So, but if he's going to get 34 minutes at $5,000 in DraftKings, that's enticing.
Hey, fire! Why not fire it up, right?
What about Steven Adams? I mean, I know he's been playing limited minutes. He's coming back from an injury. I think he's someone to keep an eye on. If you're seeing, he played 23 minutes last game, played 23 minutes the game before, which is not his typical full complement of minutes. But I mean, he's really, really cheap at least on DraftKings.
Yeah, with the lack, well, he's 5,500 on DK. So let me rephrase that. With the lack of big men that are injured right now for Sacramento, there could be upside here with Adams. If you could tell me that he plays 26 to 28 minutes, yeah, I'll go ahead and roster him. I like him way more than I do maybe like a Nerlens Noel. It is a good matchup for him. He could thrive in this situation. So yeah, I think that's a fair call.
Yeah, I mean, he's going against Dwayne Dedman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the matchup right there. I just got a DK Alive alert. I don't know who's running their account here. Kyler Murray pass to the right to Andy Isabella for 88 yards for a touchdown.
Just now.
I just got it.
Kyler Murray to Isabella.
Andy Isabella. I remember that game. It was a showdown. Yeah.
That's weird. Why are you getting that alert right
now? I don't know. Is that only Chicago? They only do it to Chicago people? You didn't get it, right?
No.
No, I just got it now. It says right now, 1 minute ago.
Check your account. Maybe you got maybe you got paid for that touchdown.
Maybe it's a sign. I'll remember that sign. I'll remember it. Next first showdown slate upcoming next year.
By the way, I just want to say Luka Doncic is having probably the worst fantasy game ever.
Really?
Yeah, he's got 16 points, 4 turnovers, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's 5 of 13. He's only played 21 minutes. Dallas is down 31 points going into the fourth quarter.
Excuse me? 31.
They're down 31 against Phoenix, 108-77, which this could be a blessing because I need Ayton and Oubre to just stay off the court. And I think if they're up 31, there's no shot that they come back on the floor.
Oh, Devin Booker is 57.5. Wow. All right.
Yeah,
I got him. I have him. I've picked him. I took him.
Oh, see, there you go, man.
Oh, I'm winning money. Oh, my God. It's a miracle. We got to do podcasts every night now, Chris.
No,
maybe that's
let's not get ahead of ourselves,
It's
our first one together, I like to take it slow.
Right. Well, that's been my problem for a while. I like to take it fast.
Oh, you like to? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
you're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys. I know. Then,
nah, man. But you got to learn one thing is just you got to have patience. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. It's been
Patience will take you farther than what you think.
Life advice from Chris Rendon. That's great. I'll take that to heart. Right. So anyone else in this OKC Sacramento game stand out? Dwayne Dedman show. I mean, the big men. There's not a lot of big men in.
I'm gonna pass on. I'm passing on to Dwayne Dedman.
Dwayne Dedman, Ken Bazemore. Any Ken Bazemore action going on here? Has he been getting minutes?
Dwayne Dedman made me money when he was supposed to a few games ago against Detroit. And that's the Dwayne Dedman ceiling game that probably is going to have all season at 30 points. So,
yep, walk away from the table.
Yeah.
Ken Bazemore got put up 25 in 20 minutes last game against Minnesota. Are we biting on?
Oh my God, they brought in DeAndre Ayton and Oubre in the fourth quarter right now, and they're up 31.
Free check Diallo. Come on.
What is this?
Check needs some. Bro. It's nonsense, man. All right. Well,
dude.
maybe they're just getting them a little. I mean, I don't know. Phoenix doesn't win by this much usually, so it's
these are the things that you got to tilt on sometimes because they should not be on the floor right now.
One guy we didn't. I do want to talk about one guy we didn't talk about in this game. Been overlooked, and maybe that's a sign that he will be overlooked by a lot of other people. Is Carmelo Anthony? Okay. Carmelo Anthony.
We didn't talk about Melo.
We didn't even touch Melo, and I mean, I'm not playing in the game after the passing of Kobe Bryant. I know I don't like to do any of these narrative things. Him and Kobe were close, really, really close. You have to think he's going to go – I mean, this is also his lowest price this season. You have to think that maybe he's going to go out there and put on a show for him.
I mean, he already dropped 36 DK points against them earlier in a matchup already. So, 5,900, yeah, I don't mind Melo. I honestly was just so focused on the guard play that I kind of overlooked him. But, yeah, I mean –
And revenge game. Yeah. You got a couple narratives. There's a couple narratives there. I mean, I just think it's interesting we overlooked him and in spot of where I know Kobe was supposed to attend that game? Which game did he say he was going to attend? The Portland maybe it was the Portland Lakers game. Friday. But I think Carmelo could definitely be a play here, especially if he's getting those power forward minutes against Houston. So someone to overlook. I mean, those are some of the best. You know, when you overlook a whole slate of people and you kind of notice, like, hey, other people are going to overlook them too if we did, right?
Yeah.
So all right. So any updates from you, Chris, on the on your adventures going on over there on the DraftKings or FanDuel?
I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, they got DeAndre Ayton on the floor right now. They're up 40 points. This doesn't make any sense. So clearly, you know, let's just risk our great players while we're up 40. So, but
the Phoenix way.
Just get them off the floor, man. I'm in second right now. Like, it'd be nice to be in first, but that's really not going to happen. So, going to be curious to see how this night ends. Really hope that.
I do want to end the podcast on one note. Speaking of the Phoenix way, the Phoenix way, the return of Josh Jackson tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Is that a thing?
That happened. He played. I believe he played. I did not look at his box score, but
he did not play.
He didn't play. He was active.
He didn't play.
Oh,
no, he didn't play.
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
Oh.
No.
So we're yet to. He was active. He
didn't play.
He will play. Maybe he'll get some run tomorrow. He's someone we didn't talk about. He might get some run tomorrow. You never know. But all right.
Man, you're pretty wild, dude.
I am
wild with the picks.
I am wild. I like my Josh Jacksons. It's also Mark Madsen's birthday today. So
oh my God.
I want to throw to Mark Madsen.
How does one even know that?
NBA birthdays. Google.
Oh, okay. You do that every day?
Yeah. Every other day. Usually.
You know what, man? On that note, let's go ahead and end this show, okay?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you. I forgot. You know, I'm usually the host. You're the host.
I'm the host today. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
UFC 247, exclusively on ESPN Plus. Undefeated Dominic.
Damn. That was a nice little short thing. All right, man. Good job.